Hey, thanks for joining me. We're looking at Battle Beast number 6. I've been enjoying this title. It's been one of the most fun new comics to come out in a long time, in my opinion, based on my kind of tastes and interest and what I like. It's not overly complicated, but I hear a lot of people talk about comics how like the story's simple, like the art's fine, but the story's kind of simple. But I'm like, what's your point? What are you getting at? That it needs to be a incredibly thick, dense, packed storyline? I would suggest, considering the fact that not every comic needs to be that way or is constructed that way. I want a wide variety of stuff. If I want something dense and heavy and complicated, I can go find that. But sometimes I just want a really fun action, adventure, practically horror romp like we're getting in this thing, with great art, fun settings, interesting designs, some, twists and turns for the characters, and just see where they go. Like, that's all you need. So I just, when I hear the complaint, the like, story's nothing to write home about, I'm like, what's your problem? Like, just enjoy it for what it is, not what you want it to be. Does that make sense? Anyway, the basic premise, for anyone who doesn't know about Battle Beast, is he's this creature who lives in the galactic universe here, and he wants basically to die in battle because he fully admits he's got this internal rage that is just incapable of being satiated. He wants to fight and destroy and to kill, and there's no release from that kind of existence, and so he wants to die. But he's not going to just like eat the barrel of a gun or something like that. He's going to go out in battle. So he's constantly searching for the most powerful creatures he can find to give him a glorious death at the hands of a worthy opponent. And issues 1 through 5 were all kinds of, they went to all kinds of different settings and ran into all kinds of different creatures. I'm not going to go over them right here because you can go watch the other videos. But issue 6, we've been waiting for him to get to this battle. This is a female monster creature. In issue 1, he fought the male equivalent of this thing. They're a brother and sister, and they had conquered this planet, and eons ago, and they're known as these great, powerful, evil, unstoppable monsters, and they conquered a planet. And at some point in that history, the brother and sister separated, so only the sister is left on the planet. Battle Beast went and sought out the brother, defeated him, and now he's on the hunt for the sister, and the entire book has been kind of leading up to this moment, in a way. I have some thoughts about it. Obviously, I've already read this. I just got it today. I've only had it for like 3 hours at this point. But I've got some thoughts we'll get to at the end of it. But at the end of the last book, Battle Beast finally met the creature, and she stabbed him because this giant weird creature design, she's got these spikes that shoot out of her hand. She stabbed Battle Beast through the guts and is like, you're done, you're dead. And he's like, no, that's a good start. That's how the last book ended. Battle Beast saying it's a good start. So now here we pick up. She's like, start? Baby, this is the end. If only, Battle Beast says, if only you were capable of giving me that. So she says, oh, you want to die? Okay, weird. I can do that for you. I can do that all day. So Battle Beast reaches up on her spike and pulls himself closer to her. He says, you talk too much. So she gets a snarky smirk on her face. She's like, oh, are you going to whisper to me your final words? Give me those sweet nothings, my dear. I'm all ears, pussycat. Boy, if you know Battle Beast, you know that she's doing the dumbest thing ever. He bites into her. This is his kind of a default thing that he does. He wants to he'll use his hands, weapons, anything. But if he has to, he'll eat your ass. So he bites into her, and she screams, and he pulls this giant pile of flesh and some of her clothing and armor and everything right off her, ripping the guts right out. She screams, you animal. She tries to stab him, but he deflects it with the sword that he's got, and he keeps deflecting while he gnaws down her flesh and says, delicious. And so the over-the-top extreme bloody violence that Ryan Otley is able to draw, he's so good at it. It's so fun. So rips her flesh out. She sends him flying, takes off, and then does looks like a flying kick to him, crashing through the wall. They're in this giant castle structure way up high. So they crash out through the castle walls, fall to the ground, slam on the ground, and this evil monster lady, she's like, need a breather? You don't get one. So she fires both her, or not fires them, but she's got them out, and she kind of stabs them towards Battle Beast, both her claw spike things. He deflects it with the sword, and she says, you're very efficient with that weapon, with that sword, which is, he took this claw from her brother from issue 1. He snapped it off, and then a creature that Battle Beast met in an earlier issue took it and chiseled it down, filed it down to have a sharp edge, put a handle on it, and made it like a weapon, not just a thing he snapped off a being, just like a pointy spear, but forged it into a sword. There was a name given for it, and I can't remember what it is. But she's like, you're very efficient with that weapon, so she kind of pins his sword between her two claws and snaps his sword, just shatters it. She says, so what now? And she looks at him and says, my brother was always the weaker one. Battleby says, your confidence is misplaced, female. Your brother put up a more intense fight. So she's like, my brother? She smacks him away, sends him flying. She's like, boys, 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 always stronger, always sticking up for each other, whatever. You forget who put him in that cosmic nail. He was in his physical prison. She says, you turned what was left of my brother into a sword, and I broke it as easily as I'm going to break you. So Battleby says, that sword was a gift from someone who hates you. And he says, it retains you and your brother's ability to heal. So he takes the weapon, and it's snapped off at the edge, but he's holding it under her guts. And then the weapon regenerates itself, stabbing her through the guts. While that happens, she kind of acknowledges the fact that her brother is alive. She just assumed he was dead. So she's above him, got her spikes in the ground. Battlebeast has got his sword through her. She says, after I kill you, I'll hunt down that witch and kill this she's starting to get kind of woozy because she realizes she's saying that she's going to go off and find the witch that forged the sword for him. Battleby says, if this is to be the battle worthy of ending my life, I find solace in the knowledge I am taking you with me. Love this shot. Love the blood just dripping on him. So she pulls back her arm as if to stab him. Battlebeast grabs the part of his sword that had already been snapped off because it healed and went and stabbed through her, but then it regenerated. So he grabs the part of his sword that was snapped off, and as she rears up her arm and she comes down for the killing stroke, Battleby slices her arm off at the wrist. So she's sitting there with a little bloody stump. She's screaming, and she says, okay, time out. As embarrassing as it is to admit this, I was not prepared for this. But I will be. So she's like, all right, stop, hold on. I wasn't ready. I was not expecting this. I was not prepared for this. So she takes him and throws him up through the sky, and he just arcs away into the distance, long ways away. You got these weird little bird animal creatures that were introduced in the book of, 2 issues ago. They ride them like steeds. And so they see their master flying through the sky, so they go chasing after him. So now she's sitting there, she's just saying, my God, that was close. She's like, where'd that little squishy guy go? I could use a good meal. She's looking for one of these creatures that she feeds. She feeds on the population of the planet. But she basically falls over and passes out. So it's like maybe she's not as powerful as she thinks, or we thought, because Battleby stabbed her through the guts and cut her hand off, and she's kind of passing out. The brother did put up a bigger fight. So it makes me kind of wonder what's going on. I feel like there's something more to this, or something going on. So on these pages, we come back with the characters that have been introduced back in issue 1 and 2. It's this little half of a body creature. I forget his name every time. It'll say here somewhere. But he was basically in the guts of the brother, being digested, slowly digested over 1,000 years. Literally that. But it's been implied that there's like a magical spell that was put on him to retain long life. And that's how he survived. When Battle Beast cut the brother open, he freed this body, and then they kind of formed a small, it's not correct to say a friendship, but a relationship. And also the ship, the spaceship that they were flying around on had a computer AI that they were interacting with and downloaded into this robotic body that little half guy, little half-bodied little dude here, he was actually using this as the means to get around since he was only like half a torso. But they downloaded the computer AI into this robotic exosuit, and now the AI is controlling it because he got knocked out of it and he doesn't fit anymore. So they're like, all right, well, you're alive, and did Battle Beast kill her? It's like, I don't know. Well, we got to find out. He's like, my body's growing back. I can feel the crushed parts of me regrowing. It kind of tickles, kind of hurts. Where's Battle Beast? So the computer AI suit, he's like, I don't know. I gained mobility as the fight broke out of the castle. It appeared to have ended, but I have no idea of the outcome. Battle Beast is nowhere to be seen, so it's at least possible both he and I got what we wanted. The computer AI wants Battle Beast dead. He hates Battle Beast and is like, all right, I'll help transport you to these horrible monsters because I want to see you dead too. So they have a little kind of conversation now, and the little guy, he says, I don't want him dead. That's a disaster for me. So the AI suit says, well, now you're causing me some conflict. I feel devoted to you after you provided me with drive space to continue existing. I am invested in rebuilding your kingdom. Battle Beast was a means to that. And so the little guy, he's like, it's not just that. Battle Beast was my friend. The AI says, I don't believe that he was. So the guy's like, but he said. The suit says, I still don't believe it. So the guy's like, well, if we're on our own, we should try to find a place to hide just in case the Juggernaut sends someone to look for us. The Juggernaut that's the name of the evil sister monster. So as they're going along, the little guy's like, hey, now that you're like this, calling you computer doesn't seem right. Do you have a name? And the AI says, other than computer? Not yet. So now we go back to a landscape shot. The little bird animal creatures are searching around, sniffing around, following a trail of blood. They find Battle Beast. He's lying there. He's covered in blood. His guts are sticking out. And he says, not over. This fight only beginning. Like, he is a dedicated dude. Back to this awesome castle shot. And so the sister creature, she's literally sitting there feasting on one of these creatures as they put her back together and heal her wounds. She says, this Battle Beast is a serious threat. I will now treat him as such. We must prepare a new cosmic nail. That's the name of the prison that her brother was put in. So she's planning. She underestimated Battle Beast and was like, all right, I'm going to prepare and, for the next conflict. So if you're paying attention to the books and you remember from issue 1, this shot is like the scenery of the planet where the brother that was introduced in the first issue was. You see these weird alien creatures and they're like, holy shit, this is a mess that we found. Look at this guy. He's a gigantic carcass to scavenge. We could sell all kinds of parts from this thing. But then the monster creature, he wakes up, stabs him with his little growing spike weapon. He says, not scavenge, not dead, healing. And if you look at him, his body is putting itself back together. He'd lost an arm. He'd been severed in half. But his body is regenerating. So this creature that we thought was dead and done and taken care of, he's still there. So, future stories to come. And then, again, if you've read the Invincible comics, this is one of the giant spaceships that belong to the Viltrumites. And if you watch the Invincible animated show, like if you know the comic, you know what the Viltrumites are. If you know the animated show. And these are characters that we've seen. So they're basically talking like the planet that Battle Beast was fighting on. It's called Fantania. And centuries ago, it was taken over by these mythological monsters. We thought that were not real, but we find out that they actually are real. These beings possess immense strength. They enslaved the planet for thousands of years. So then you see this voice that this guy's talking to off panel. He's like, I see why this planet has caught your interest. If these beings are as powerful as you say, it may be prudent to send. And the guy kind of cuts him off. He's like, no, not him. Don't send him. Please don't send him. And so we see the leader of the Viltrumites. And he's like, yes, him. Or is your defiance a sign of your wish to challenge my rule? And he's like, no, Grand Regent Thrag. So Thrag says, very well, then it is decided we will send to Fantania the Viltrumite agent most likely to succeed in overtaking the planet. Find Conquest. And if you know who Conquest is, that is a big deal. Now, if you've read the Invincible comic or even seen the animated series up to how far it's gotten at this point, as of this recording, Conquest is dead. But this story is set in the past. God, I almost gave a spoiler away by speaking the wrong thing there. But if you read the comics, you know. So here we get some text that is from Robert Kirkman. And so basically what he goes on to explain is that this is the end of the comic for the next 5 months. And I'd kind of heard somebody say that online, so I wasn't entirely surprised to hear that. It's kind of a bummer, but they had this first 6-issue arc planned out, and this is the end, and they're going to go on a hiatus for 5 months so that they can get, I think he says, 6 more issues out, or done, to get ahead of the game so that when they start releasing them again, they'll come out on a monthly basis. This is a big deal. So many comics out there will go such long, vast stretches of time in between issues, and they don't want to do that. They're not fucking playing that game anymore. That is old news. So they're going to take a break and just leave us kind of with this cliffhanger, and then get more issues done. He does say here, he says, this has been the most successful, highest launching, and highest selling series of my career. Issues 2 and 6 have sold out a lot of first issues I've done. The sales on this series, frankly, are staggering. So thank you so much. So I've heard that before. I remember hearing about the sales numbers on issue 1. If I remember correctly, it was some to the effect of like 500,000 copies, which in today's market is unbelievable. Like, that just doesn't happen. It's been a long time. And I've heard in some comics and some online, some people talking, and even my comic retail shop that I go to, the gal that runs it tells me that she's been seeing signs of American comic books increasing in sales. Like, business has been getting better, and she loves it. Of course, who wouldn't? Like, when you have a business like this, you need sales to keep your shit operating. And so she was very optimistic. She's like, things have been looking good. So it's nice to hear that. There's something happening at the moment where sales are doing okay. And, you know, Robert Kirkman kind of shows that. And it's awesome to see that a BattleBeast comic is selling crazy good. And I'm sure a lot of it has to be tied on to the Invincible animated series. It's people who maybe have never read the comic get the opportunity to pick up this, and then if they like this, they can go pick up the regular Invincible series, and, you know, everyone's happier. So that was awesome to see. I was a little bummed out that they said that they're going to go on hiatus, because I want to keep reading these on a consistent basis. But knowing that it's coming, that there's more to come, that's fine. I'll be here for it for sure. But now getting to read this as a whole, having read this issue, I have to say I'm a little bit, there's a little bit of, I guess I want to say disappointment, but it's more of expectation not quite met, in that this conflict, this battle that was built up with the BattleBeast and this creature has been built up from basically the beginning. And I was like, fucking finally, we're going to get to see it. I thought we were going to see it in last issue, but it was teased. The issue before that, it was teased. So this was this was going to be the final battle. We get to see what happens. And they have a pretty brutal but quick fight, and it's done. And it's just like the first couple of punches thrown, and then it's done. Now, again, they're going to pick up on it. It's all about teasing you and keeping you interested to come back and buy more, which, yes, I am. But there's a little part of me that was like, God damn it. I wanted to see this wrapped up. I want to see the book to keep going for sure. But I want to see that fight be done because I want some resolution to it. And they're teasing it and dragging it out. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying me and my expectations and my interest, I wanted some resolution to this, and all we got was like a little bit of a beginning fight, and that's it. We had to wait 5 months to even see if they even finish it then. I'm sure that they will finish it. I don't doubt that. I trust in Robert Kirkman, and I think he knows what he's doing for sure on this, but there's just that little part of me that's like, God damn it. And then, of course, teasing us with Conquest. That'll be interesting. So, you know, we'll see. But that's like a minor complaint, honestly. It's been a very enjoyable series. Fantastic art. Great characters. I'm invested. I'm interested. I'm ready to keep going. And, I'm here for it. So I can't recommend it enough. I say that all the time. But unfortunately, for a couple of months, almost half a year, we're done with BATTLEBEAST. But we'll get back to it. And God willing, I'm alive. I'm going to keep watching and reading and keep making videos on this stuff because it's fantastic. It's great to have a comic I'm so goddamn excited for because it's so interesting. And again, it's not super complicated, but it doesn't need to be. It's fun, and I'm interested. And that's all it needs to be. And that's what BATTLEBEAST has been. It's fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. So that is all I have for this one. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it as always, and I will see you next time.